They will take you all the way up until Jaguars programming with the famous Quick Lube Kickoff show presented by Gatorade Fast Twitch and Clearwater Irrigation. Gio, if they miss some of our show, they can find it.
Apple, Google, and Spotify and 1010XL website.
Yeah, definitely check it out there. We are done. I'll talk to you tomorrow at noon on XL Primetime. If you need any sports injury intel, go to my man, Dr. George Bari, BariOrthopedics.com with locations all over the city. Enjoy your Sunday.
You've been listening to Breaking Bones with Dr. George Bari and Joe C. on 1010XL.
Impact games and hit on a lot of different things. We've got to.
Game day is underway. This is the famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube Kickoff Show, presented by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch. Here are your hosts, Mia O'Brien and Tom McManus.
Look here, Monday happened. Let it go. Trevor Lawrence, he's not Gumby. He's inspiration. Defense, I hope you're inspired, baby. Smoot, Foyer, I'm looking at you. Let's go! Cleveland, y'all losing today. Tommy Mac, Mia, take it away.
If that doesn't wake you up at 8:01 on a Sunday morning, I'm not really sure what will, Tommy Mac. Welcome into the famous Automotive and Quick Lube Kickoff Show, brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch. Thank you to producer Casey Dobson for not only keeping us on the air, but firing us up, ready to go on what you already said to me, Tommy Mac, is a must-win game.
They put themselves in this spot, didn't they? I mean, look, getting into December, you really do want to win these games, right? You're trying to get battle ready for the playoffs in case you have to go on the road in the playoffs in bad conditions, in a hostile environment. You want to be hardened for that. So this is a big test for them, and they need this victory. Hey, the Houston Texans are nipping. You know, Indy's not too far behind. You got to stay ahead of the pack, and you need this victory today. So big day today for the Jags.
It is wild to think that if Brandon McManus doesn't miss his first field goal attempt,
my cousin,
if Anton Harrison isn't called for a questionable hold, we're talking about the number one seed in the AFC. And instead, we're talking about a team that only has a maybe two-game cushion because the Houston Texans have the New York Jets today. So I'm not so sure that we even want to call it a two-game cushion in the AFC South standings.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could say, if our defense showed up, we would have played a lot better.
Yep.
I mean, we probably would have won that game. I mean, the offense scoring 31 points, you should win those games, right? Right. For whatever reason, again, look, San Fran, maybe the first game in Houston, San Fran, past Monday night, this defense just is not playing like it did the other games. If it plays like the other times, they're stopping the run, they're getting off the field on third down, they're giving the ball back to the offense, they're wreaking havoc in the backfield. Josh Allen did. He had a great game. But the rest, man, they had a rough night on Monday night.
The Jaguars fell 34-31 in overtime to the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. Their first appearance on that program since 2011 ends in a gut-wrenching loss. It also ended with a lot of folks in Duval thinking season's over. Trevor Lawrence's season is over. Yeah. And now the early reports out of Cleveland suggest, Tommy Mac, he's starting today against this Cleveland Browns team.
I'm sure you guys have, rolled your ankle in a really violent way before. If you've played any sports growing up, especially basketball, you've probably rolled your ankle to where you thought, oh my gosh, it snapped in half, it broke in. I mean, I've done it before, right? And you're like, holy cow, you're thinking, oh my gosh, the worst. And then you find out, okay, it's a bad sprain, it swells up. Now, he had a high ankle sprain, so a little bit different. But then you start walking it off, and you're like, okay, it's going to be okay. But when his foot got stuck at the very end and then kind of violently whipped back out, I thought, ooh, he broke something down there. It had to be, but thank goodness it's not. And look, he's a tough guy. We need him. He knows it. People playing pain throughout the season, especially late in the year. And look, C.J. Beathard can totally run this offense. I'd be fine with that. But Trevor's he's never missed a game due to injury, right? From high school, college, and now he doesn't want to do it today. So. Look, man, he's a tough guy, and that will inspire. that inspires your team. Your O-line wants to block a little bit more for you, a little bit harder for you. Your defense wants to hit a little bit harder for you because you're showing them how tough you are. And they already know that, but coming off this thing, he's showing it even more.
When I spoke with Andre Sisco and Evan Ingram about it on Thursday, all they could do was laugh. Because Cisco said, he's like, I've been getting a kick a kick out of just as much as the rest of you, of all the memes and the GIFs and the videos online of like how this guy is doing this, because it just has become, this is the status quo. If Trevor gets hurt, Trevor somehow, some way finds a way to play.
Yeah, well, he's a determined young guy, and look, you get injured. I mean, look. I don't know if it's the exact same spot, but Mahomes comes back after getting it crushed in the second quarter, so you can come back from it. But look, it's a lot of pain. That's the thing. I mean, and a lot of you, I'm sure, out there have had those kind of injuries or surgeries or knee replacements or whatever, where the pain is absolutely excruciating. So once you get through that, and you're not going to hurt it more, you're going to tape it up, you're going to keep it tight. Then it comes down to just being able to handle it. And we know he's tough. I mean, look, he came back from that knee, ran all over New Orleans, right, on that Thursday night. We're like, oh, my gosh, what's going to happen? He's got the brace, that clunky brace, blah, blah, blah. And he ends up having one of his better nights.
He was the leading rusher in the game.
He was the leading rusher in the game. He needs to get back to some of that. And if he can, obviously with the ankle, we'll see. But, yeah, man, it's great that he's going to make a run for it.
Because I know several of you are keeping score at home. Yes, Trevor Lawrence did miss 2 games in college, but that was not due to injury.
Okay.
That was due to COVID-19 protocol.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yes, the only 2 games that he has missed.
Okay.
2 starts, I should
Yeah,
say.
that doesn't count.
High school, college, and an NFL career
Right.
were due to COVID-19 protocol. Otherwise, he has only ever been healthy, never missed a game due to injury. So, again, let's recap a little bit, Tommy Mack. 34-31, the final score. A disappointing loss on Monday Night Football. People want to talk about the Trevor injury. If Trevor doesn't go down, there's no question, I've heard from multiple people, that the Jaguars go and win this game. But the defense. In talking to Rayshon Jenkins on Thursday, he said they've kind of just dismissed it as, it was a one-off. Everybody had their worst game of the season that day. Was there anything for you that suggested this defense that doesn't look like the defense we saw the first 12 weeks of the season could linger?
I don't agree with that statement because, I mean, look, after San Fran, what did we hear? Mike Caldwell says, they were a bunch of imposters. It wasn't us. Well, it is you. It's you out there. And when another team comes in real physical, you haven't matched that physicality. And you are a physical team. So I don't understand why look, San Fran, you didn't match it at all. Cincinnati, that offensive line took it to our defensive front.
They took it personal.
I mean, they did, man. They're making it, look, and that's what happens as you get further on. Now you're in December. You're fighting for that spot. You have to up the intensity. You have to up that physicality. Look, I love our defense, right? I don't like the way they played those 3 games that I mentioned before, especially last Monday night. But to me, if I'm an offensive coach, Mia, my blueprint, I'm going to smash them in the face, and let's see if they can stop me. And if you can't stop me, I'm going to keep doing it. And then it's going to open play action. They went in at halftime Monday night. What'd they say? Hey, if you get one-on-one, now let's take a shot. Before that, it was dink, dunk, a little play action here, run the ball, do this, do that. Then next thing you know, bomb down the sideline. Lull you to sleep. You're not expecting it. One-on-one, boom, hits you. That's what happens when you can run the football, especially late in the season.
And they came into that game ranked 32nd in the league.
No, I know.
In the run game. And I think that's where the question also arises of, did this Jaguars defense think this will be a cakewalk? As long as we're out there and we're doing what we do, this will be easy.
I just don't know how you do that. That's not a Doug Peterson team, right? Would we agree with that?
Yes.
In the 2 years he's been here, you would be like, wait a minute. And look, by the way, we've been told earlier in the year that's what maybe it was, right?
Oh, against the Texans it was.
We overlooked Houston.
The Texans, that was across the board. That was offense, defense, special teams, everybody.
Press clippings, we're reading them, all this stuff. We got to go away to get our mind right. And they did, and then came back. But I tell you, these big games, when you need it, I will say this about this team. The resiliency of this team is when they have a bad week, they usually come back and redeem themselves. They have in the past, right? So I'm expecting them to redeem themselves. I don't care how you win today, Mia. It could be 10-9 for all I care. You know what I mean? You just got to find a way to win this football game.
Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns come into this game on a 2-game losing streak. The reports early out of Cleveland suggest that Joe Flacco, elevated from the practice squad yesterday, will be the starter. Rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson has cleared the concussion protocol. P.J. Walker was waived yesterday. And that's where the question really arises, Tommy Mack, of Joe Flacco probably going to dink and dunk you to death too. And I asked Josh Allen about that earlier this week, and he said, well, hey, Gardner Minshew did it to us week 6 when the Colts came to Jacksonville.
True.
And we were able to contain and hold serve there. Why can't we do it in Cleveland this weekend?
You harassed Minshew, though. Even though he threw for a bunch of yards. I mean, he had turnover after turnover.
4
he
picks.
was rattled. He had the fumble. To me, he was seeing ghosts after a while. So you've got to do that to Flacco. Now, Flacco, look, he was like doing nothing 2 weeks ago, right? Or something like that.
He was on the couch.
He still has an arm.
In the words of Justin Pugh.
Yeah, right.
Straight off the couch.
Straight off the couch. He still has a whip for an arm. I mean, he can get it down the field. So, but he can't move, and you don't have to worry about him getting out of the pocket or anything like that. Now, with Dorian, you got to wonder, are they going to maybe throw him in on a few packages, get us off balance a little bit? We'll see, as the game progresses. But look, we know this. Jake Browning last Monday night had all the time in the world, aside from Josh Allen, to throw the football. If you give Flacco that time, you're going to get hurt. It's everywhere in the league, Mia. If you don't disrupt that timing, if you don't hit that QB, he's just going to get more confident, and keep making throws against your team.
I am most curious knowing Jake Browning now owns the record for this season for time to get the ball out at 1.79 seconds in the first half of Monday night's game.
Yeah.
Can Joe Flacco get the ball out in less than 2 seconds? Because
I don't
part
know.
of it, and I think, and this is where Jaguar fans have turned a bit more optimistic towards this matchup compared to Monday night's.
Yep.
Jake Browning had the luxury of a healthy Jamar Chase, a healthy T. Higgins,
first
and
time,
a healthy,
right?
and a healthy Tyler Boyd.
Yep.
And so you can get the ball out in 1.79 seconds, and you can let those guys create, just like Tua Tagovailoa does in Miami with Tyreek Hill. You could get the ball to Tyreek Hill in 2.1 seconds. He may only be 10, 12 yards into his route.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what?
Yeah.
Yards after catch, and just him being Tyreek and the mere speed he has in a one-on-one matchup, just like T. Higgins or just like a Jamar Chase, that is going to elevate your offense.
Yeah, and you look, that's part of, we've seen it here with Trevor and Doug, right? Get the ball out quick, first read throws, not taking time to go to that second progression, not having time to go to number 3. So, that's part of the play calling as well. But you're right, those 3 last Monday, we're not seeing. Look, Amari Cooper's a heck of a player, right? He's going to play. It looks like he's really their big-time threat. And Njoku's a very athletic tight end. Yeah, I think he's 10 yards, 11 yards a catch. So, you got to keep your eye on him, of course. But let's make no mistake what they're going to try today. They're going to try to pound that football.
We will get to the injury report because I think Njoku and Cooper's status definitely very critical as we look ahead to today's matchup. But you mentioned the Colts game and how the Jaguars were able to harass Gardner Minshew. They also were able to stop the run, and that is something that across the board, every Jaguar defender I spoke with this week said that was the biggest reason for their stumbles on Monday night was they did not stop Joe Mixon and the run game. Chase Brown was a revelation for the Cincinnati Bengals. They run for over 100 yards. This is a Cleveland run game that, as we know, lost Nick Chubb early in the season. They ran for 87 yards on 23 carries, the three-headed monster of Kareem Hunt, Jerome Ford, and Pierre Strong against the Rams last week. 23 carries for 87 yards. That's a 3.8 yard an average clip. It's modest.
Right.
But if you can hold that to them to that number, I would think Joe Flacco is not going to beat you through the air.
No, you're right. You're right. So I keep a stat every week of the yards per carry, offense and defense. Our defense was at like 3.6 at one time and consistent 3.6, 3.8. They've creeped up to 4.1. Now, 4.1 is not good enough, right? You have to. I don't know if I've ever told you. Probably already know this, but we had a board, and it was like points allowed. Like if you allow 17 or less points, you should win. Yards per carry, 3.8 or less. If you hold a team to 3.8, and then down, third down percentage, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So it's very important that you're stopping the run per rush clip. Like someone could say, I rushed for 130 yards. Yeah, but it took you 40 carries. So what? That doesn't affect me because I know I'm stopping you on a per run basis. So that's going to be key. You're right. And they're about 4.2 themselves on offense. So this is going to be a nice rubber match up front. That's why that physicality matters. That's why when you go up there, especially on the road, you got out physical them right from the get-go. So they know, okay, this team's here to play, and this is going to be a tough out.
Early reports out of Cleveland are that the weather is better than expected. We're going to catch up with Frank Frangie in the next segment on the All Pro Roofing Hotline so he can not only give us some insight into what the Jaguars may look like against the Browns today, but also play meteorologist. So
nice.
Always fun when we have him and Hayes Carlyon, boots on the ground wherever the Jags are playing, and they can give us some insight into not only the game itself, but the weather too. Hey, we appreciate everybody who's watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can stream us on 1010XL. There, you, of course, can also get us on our app at 1010XL and 92.5, and, of course, on the old-school terrestrial radio as well. And you can chime in on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Mia and Tommy Mack would love your insight and your thoughts heading into the Jaguars' Week 14 matchup in Cleveland against the Browns. This is the famous Automotive and Quick Lube Kickoff Show brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch.
You can find 1010XL on any social media platform: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. At 1010XL.
The Bulls are back in town and taking over Jacksonville. Get ready for bull-bucking mayhem at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville is bringing the city 2 nights of bull riding action, featuring the most electric 8 seconds in sports. Come see the toughest sport on dirt at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. If you're looking for jewelry this holiday season, we have what you want at Underwoods, and we carry the hottest and best names you'll find anywhere in North Florida. The biggest name in designer jewelry is David Yurman, and his looks are more popular today than they were years ago when Underwoods introduced this designer to Jacksonville. And we carry David Yurman not just in ladies' jewelry, but also in timepieces in his extensive collection of men's jewelry. If it's a watch you're looking for, we carry Rolex and other watches considered to be the best in their price points. We also carry extensive collections of the jewelry we import directly from Italy and Spain that are always popular for their quality, style, and value. So if you want the hottest and most popular jewelry and want to be waited on by the most professional jewelry staff in the business, stop by Underwoods.
Underwoods, where customers are served with quality and respect. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra. Underwood Jewelers.
Hey, hon, our new True Flame Grill from CSS is installed and ready to go.
I still can't believe what a great deal we got from CSS. They're always so good to us.
Well, they said the new True Flame Grills redefine value for premium craftsmanship. I mean, look at this thing. Multiple heat zone separators, stainless steel to withstand the weather.
A lifetime warranty and cool lighting so we can grill at night.
Okay, let's get cooking.
True Flame Grills. See them today at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gates store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
The holidays provide a good reminder to ensure your vehicle is well maintained for safe and reliable travels. So in the spirit of giving, Famous Automotive and Tire is offering a buy 3, get 1 free promotion on all size tires and brands. All new tire sizes and brands, buy 3, get 1 free. This holiday sale also applies to all shocks and struts. Visit the shop for details and get your vehicle holiday ready at Famous Automotive and Tire. 7 locations servicing every customer like they're famous.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Your pipes are leaking, don't get nervous. Fa la 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 la. Call Roll and Reach for same-day service. Fa la 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 la. He guarantees your satisfaction. Fa la 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 la. Call Roland and he'll spring into action. Fa la 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 la. This holiday season, if you have a leak and can't wait a week, dial 904-260-7059. And from the Roll and Reach family to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Something happens when you begin to believe. What seems way off in the distance gets closer.
You focus on what needs to get done, and you'll let nothing get in your way.
Next year becomes this year, and maybe next time becomes now. A whole city will rally behind you and begin to believe too.
Because when you believe, the unbelievable can happen. We believe in justice for everyone, and we believe we're the attorneys to help people get it. Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars. Jacksonville.
This is Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade.
Fast Twitch, an energy drink from Gatorade in 6 different flavors, including strawberry watermelon, cool blue, and tropical mango. And available at your local Winn-Dixie.
Start fast with Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade.
On-the-go energy from Gatorade. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, starting your game day.
The famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube Kickoff Show.
Presented by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch on 1010XL.
Welcome back in. This is your Kickoff Show with Mia O'Brien, Tom McManus, and producer Casey Dobson. We will be joined by the voice of your Jacksonville Jaguars, Frank Frangie, here momentarily. But since we know he's on the line and waiting, Casey, you texted me an interesting stat that I want to make sure that Frank Frangie hears as well.
So Joe Flacco is 3-3 against the Jaguars in 6 starts when playing for the Ravens. And he had a pedestrian 77.1 passer rating in those games and only threw 7 interceptions. He was sacked 10 times and accounted for only 5 touchdown passes. I'm ready to turn that into a 3-4 record. What do you think, Frank?
Let's hit the All-Pro Roofing hotline.
Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Some food for thought, Mr. Frangie?
Yeah, maybe. There's a lot of things at play here. I don't think Joe Flacco can. By the way, you may be ahead of me. Have they announced Flacco as the starter?
They have all but hinted at that he will be the starter from NFL Network and ESPN.
Okay, because I can tell you, I think the Jags were preparing for both. The difficulty in that, by the way, back to your point about it, he's a statue. So he's going to have to get the ball out of his hands quickly. In today's day and age, Mia, of RPO and naked bootlegs and all the things quarterbacks do as scramblers, he can't do it at all. So it's a different game when he plays. But I will say this. The difficulty in them not naming a starter is that both guys could not be more different. DTR is a guy that's going to run the ball. He probably runs it better than he throws it right now. He doesn't know defenses. Joe knows every defense, but he doesn't move very well. So I think the challenge for the Jaguars is having to defend or prepare for 2 entirely different guys. I can tell you this. Midweek, the Jags probably thought they were getting DTR. So if all the word is out now that Flacco started, that probably surprises me a little bit. But we'll see. 2 totally entirely different kind of quarterbacks.
Hey, Frank, great to hear your voice, buddy. Look, whoever's at QB, which defense is going to show up today? You know, Monday night, the defense did not play well. We all know that. It wasn't like them, but, hey, they are who they are from game to game. But are they going to get back to that suffocating, stopping the run, getting off the field on 3rd down type D?
I think the biggest thing, Tom, and you can speak to this way better than I can because you've had tackles and up front guys have to keep those guards off you, right? I mean, you know this world better. You know this world better than anybody does. An inside linebacker knows this story better than anybody. I don't think the front's playing very well. Fadakasi did not play well. Devon Hamilton's trying to get back. He's just not back yet. Roy Robertson-Harris is a very good player, but he's been up and down a little bit. But I think Roy's the best of the group. They haven't played well up front. And I think you may see Angelo Blackson back up this week. He'd actually been playing pretty well. I think that sets the tone for it, Tom. They didn't play well. Devin Lloyd didn't have a very good game, but I don't think tackles were keeping guards and centers off of him. Yep. I think the line's got to play better. I think that I'll be interested to see what they do. Fadakasi's had an injury. I'll be interested to see if he's up. Devon Hamilton's got to play a little bit better. He's not back to what he has been before. That's the difference. I think the ends are playing okay, or the edge guys. Josh Allen's playing very well. I think Trayvon's playing pretty well. But I don't think the front has played very well. So to your question, if the front plays better, they'll be better defensively. Now, look, they got a bunch of Tyson Campbell's down. That wasn't going to be the case midweek, so that's changed. So they got some concerns in the secondary. But, Tom, I think the front's got to play better.
I'm glad you brought up Angelo Blackson, Frank, because that was a noticeable difference for me. And that's with all due respect to Devon Hamilton, who deservedly got a payday this offseason, but he just doesn't look up to speed after missing 9 weeks with whatever the non-football illness and back injury were. And there was a gaping hole up the middle that there hasn't been when Blackson has been in there. And so I am curious to see, because I asked Doug earlier in the week about it, and he said, Devon continues to progress. We were happy, strength-wise where he was on Monday night. Yep. But there's a noticeable drop-off for me, and then that directly affects the likes of a Devin Lloyd and a Foye Oluokun at the second level.
Linebackers are only as good as the line in front of them. It's like a running back and an offensive line. I mean, you got to have those guys keep it off you. Look, hey, they re-upped all of them, though, right? I mean, Roy Robertson-Harris got a new deal. Devon Hamilton got a new deal. Of course, Forley was a big-time free agent. Those guys got to step up and earn that check, man.
Yeah. Well, Roy's played pretty well. Roy's is up and down, but Roy Robertson-Harris has been pretty steady. He's been the best of the group. Devon, you could not have predicted what was going to happen with Devon. Nobody saw that coming. It was not football-related. When Devon finally tells the story of what really happened, what he's going through, people will certainly understand. The truth is that he's trying, man. He's a good team guy. And the thinking, Mia, to your point, they want Devon up because when Devon gets back to being Devon, he's better than all of them. But they don't think he's going to get back to being himself until he plays some. They know he's not playing at the same level. I think if they had it to do over again, Blackson would have been up last week. I think he's going to be up this week. Now, look, he's no great player, but he's physical. I mean, he weighs 325 pounds. He's a big physical guy. I think they'll continue to rotate those guys. Ledbetter's played okay in there. But until Devon Hamilton gets back, to your point, Tom, to playing the way he did, you couldn't have he deserved to get paid. Nobody could have realized something was going to happen from a health standpoint. He's got to get better. Foley's got to play better. And if Foley's had an injury, I'll be interested to see if he's up. He's not played very well. He's had some injury problems, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, he told me Wednesday and Thursday he's playing, so we'll see if that is indeed the case. One more on the defense, Frank, before we flip it over to the offense and get to some of the important questions. We had so many questions in the offseason about the nickel. Who will be the third corner? Who will be the nickel? Trey Herndon goes down with a concussion 4 plays into Monday night's game. And from that moment forth, the defense looked lost. He has already been ruled out of this game. Greg Jr., to his credit, did as good as he possibly could have. He played as well as he possibly could have. Yep. But my question is, was Trey Herndon the glue all along for this defense? And are there now questions with him already ruled out of this afternoon's contest?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go glue, but certainly played pretty damn well, better than they expected. Here's the deal with an NFL team, Mia. You can't be deep everywhere. You just can't. There's no team that's got great players starting and backing up. It just doesn't work that way in the league. So there's going to be some areas where you're not very deep. They couldn't find the nickel they wanted. They brought in Antonio Johnson. They brought in Greg Jr. And Trey beat them all out. Trey Herndon was playing at a very good level because what Mike Caldwell wanted him to do. He's a very good blitzing nickel. He's very good in run support, and he became a good man coverage on the third best guy. That really reared its head against Cincinnati, who's got 3 really good guys, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. That's 3 really good guys. There's not many teams that have 3 guys that are that good, and that's when in a game where you don't have Herndon, it rears its head. As for the nickel, I think Gregory Jr. will start at nickel. I think you're going to see some Antonio Johnson, particularly in big nickel. I think you're going to see some Dewey in big nickel. I think now with Trey out, you've got to mix that up a little bit. But to your overall point, yeah, he was playing really well. He was playing better than anybody expected him to play, as was Darius Williams. So when guys in the back end play better than you expect them to play, that helps the cause. Yeah, they missed Trey Herndon. There's no question.
And the front was playing better then as well. And you're right, to your point, Mia, that was fourth play of the game, and that might have got Mike Caldwell gun-shy sending that nickel blitz because that's how he got hurt on that blitz. As far as communication, I'm sorry, backup starter, everybody's got to know everything that goes on out there, Frank. You know that as well as anybody. I don't know about the crowd noise. They wouldn't have to worry about that, I guess, for the defense this time around. But I know we're going to get into, obviously, number 16, but real quick on the offensive line, who is my starting five? Ezra's a guard, or is Ezra going to play some left tackle? How do you see it going down throughout the game?
They'll announce that today. My guess will be Ezra Cleveland at left tackle and Tyler Shatley at guard. I think that's what you're going to see. Okay. I think what you're going to, again, they haven't announced that, so I'm not going to be the guy that announces it. But my guess is that's what you'll see. Blake Hance can play over there at left tackle some and leave Ezra at left guard. But my guess is when they announce the starting lineups, you're going to see Ezra outside at tackle and Shatley at guard. And again, that's a guess. He's been careful not. I think one of the reasons they haven't announced it, I don't know if they're sure. I think they've probably practiced both. Tom, I'm guessing they've practiced Blake Hance over there as well. But I think when they play, you're going to see Ezra out there at left tackle. By the way, here's what I will tell you: they love Ezra Cleveland now. They think they found something. They think they found something there. They traded for him for a reason. I think they feel like they found something. So that would be my guess. Would be Ezra outside and Tyler Shatley left guard. I'd be surprised if they don't start the game that way. And look, the line. Those positions haven't been the problem. Anton Harrison's played well. Whoever's played at left tackle's been okay. Mm-hmm. It's a shame both left tackles got hurt. They got to get better play from the center. It's not playing very well. And they got to get better play from the right guard. I think if you went back and looked at the tape, I know my two guys go back and look at that tape, and those are the positions they're concerned about. I will tell you, and Sheriff will play better. He's the veteran guy, and Luke's the young guy. Those two spots have to play better.
I think what's fascinating about the Ezra Cleveland trade, Frank, in hindsight, is he's a guy who wanted to play left tackle in Minnesota, obviously kind of fell out of favor after the injury, and he is in the final year of his rookie deal. But also, you knew this team was going to have to invest a day one or a day two pick along the offensive line for a second straight year, given all the problems you just alluded to, and potentially saying goodbye to Cam Robinson and his boatload of money that he is due in 2024. And so what I think is interesting is that instead, you get a day one starter who you can plug and play for a sixth-round pick, which is the absolute masterclass. But now, let's say Ezra does play left tackle today and he plays well. We know Walker Little's nursing the hamstring injury. The goal is to obviously get your best five out there, but the Jags could kind of have a logjam once again next season, could they not, if they re-sign Ezra Cleveland?
Yeah, but I think Ezra Cleveland's still left guard moving forward. I'm pretty confident in that. I think you'll see some. I wouldn't necessarily assume that everybody's where they're playing now is where they're going to play in the future, Mia. But you're right. The overall point, the larger point, the one you just made. If you have a lot of good players up there, you'll figure out where to play them. That's the most important thing. My guess is if they get Ezra re-signed, which I know is the plan, they really like him. I think he's going to be their left guard moving forward, and I think that position is going to be set. I don't think he's going to be the left tackle as they move forward. But it's good to have a guy that can play out there, right? And if indeed he plays left tackle today, if that's the way they go, with he at left tackle and Shatley left guard, it's nice to have a guy that can do that. He had 40 starts at left tackle at Boise State. He has not played tackle in the NFL. But I think he's a guard with the Jaguars moving forward, regardless of what he does today.
A very athletic guard. There's no doubt about that. I'm glad you mentioned Fortner and Sheriff. They definitely got to get – I mean, Sheriff especially. He's a violent guy. He needs to get back some of that violence. Hopefully they do that today. What do you think the offensive game plan is for today, Frank, against the Browns?
You would say, logic would say you got to run the ball, right? I mean, even if Trevor plays, I don't think he's going to give it a go. That'd be my guess. Nobody knows that. I don't think he knows that yet. But logic would say it's going to be cold. Your quarterback, remember, he still's got a knee. Now he's got an ankle and a knee. You got three running backs that you like. They're all going to be up. Keep an eye on Dearness Johnson. I'll get to that in a minute. But I think you got three running backs who are going to be up. You got a quarterback that's hobbling a little bit. You got an opposing offense that's not going to score a lot of points if they're very good defensively. This has, to me, 13-10, 16-13, Tom, written all over it. And in that kind of game, the team that runs the ball wins the game. So I think remember now, you're down Christian Kirk. You're still down Jamal Agnew. It's a cold day. Your quarterback's beat up a little bit. Logic says you run the ball. I think you'll see that. By the way, Dearness Johnson got a little knee thing. They put him on the injury report with a knee thing. There's no chance he doesn't play. He's a great guy, by the way. He's a guy that really embraced his time with the Browns and then kind of got caught up in the Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. You know the drill. He took that kind of hard. he wants to play in this game. Okay, I'm telling you right now, Dearness Johnson, you couldn't keep Dearness Johnson out of this game no matter how hard you tried, and I can promise you that's the talk in the building. So you're going to see Travis Etienne. He's still nursing the rib a little bit. Dearness has a little bit of the knee. You'll see Tank. But I think look for 25 a bunch today. That'd be my guess.
I think a lot of people looked at Monday night's box score, Frank, and they saw 2.8 yards per rush for this Jaguars team as a whole, and they said, "Oh no, that's a problem." If you actually look in between the numbers, Dearness Johnson was unfortunately struggling. He had 5 carries for 4 yards, but Travis Etienne still averaged over 4 yards a clip, and that's with that rib injury. And so I'm curious, can you diagnose for us why the run game has had troubles at times, but maybe we saw a glimpse of Travis getting back to what we saw in the first half of the season on Monday night?
They're not blocking, Mia. That's the answer. They're not blocking. I think Travis Etienne is not all of a sudden a guy that averaged 4.5, all of a sudden averaged 2.5. That's not who he is. Now, he's beat up a little bit. I think that. I still think he's a more explosive runner than he is a downhill guy. I think Tank Bigsby's probably their best downhill. I mean, come right at you downhill guy, but they got to block better. The real reality is, and no one wants to talk about it because they're all trying, but the unit on this team that struggled the most is that offensive line, and more specifically the interior of the offensive line. And we all know that. We all know that's why they went and got Ezra Cleveland. That's why they want so badly for Luke Fortner to play better. That's why if they do bounce Cleveland outside and play Shatley today, they want to be more physical in the interior. So everybody knows the interior of the offensive line is what's got to play better. And again, you don't want to call guys out because they're all out there battling. But I think if you went around and asked, what's the problem, where the team struggles, I think it's the interior of the offensive line.
Yeah, and a lot of that's timing, Frank. You know, how they run the zone blockers for the most part. You know, when you take, some of those running plays take time to develop. You got to hit the hole at the right time. You know, it's all based on timing. I want to see more of that off tackle. I don't know what they call it. It's power or whatever, off tackle, where they pull the guard. You know, the wide receiver kicks out the corner, the guard seals coming around, and it's right up that lane. And Etienne, he really flourishes on that play. So instead of right up the gut, like I agree with you, let's get him outside a little bit more and use that speed. And he's so good with his vision, man. That to me is a play they've been missing.
To do that, and you know this, Tom, you have to have athletic guards to do that.
Oh,
okay?
No doubt.
And an athletic backside tackle to do that. And that's what they've had the tackle. Your guards, I think Sheriff's played banged up a little bit. You know, they've had different guys playing left guard. I mean, remember now, poor Walker Little's been all over the place. You know, Shatley played for a while. You have to have an athletic guard because that guard, the kick out that you just talked about, the guard's got to run. Guard's got to be able to run.
Yep.
And so I think that's part of it. But yeah, I think some combinations of various run looks is what you're going to see today. I definitely believe that.
One more before I get your X player for the Jaguars and X factor for the Browns, Frank. But I'm curious, knowing that there's a Christian Kirk-sized hole among the skill players. Parker Washington, obviously going to be asked to do more. What else do you think they do at the wide receiver / tight end position to fill that void?
Yeah, I think run the ball at the running back. but I hear you. Parker Washington's going to start in the slot. Now they'll move other guys in there. Zay can move in there some. Zay is so smart. He knows every spot. He knows the X, the Y, the Z, as well as the guy that starts those positions. So I think you'll move him. I think Elijah Cooks will be up today. I don't know if he's going to play very much, but I think he and Tim Jones will both be up. But again, I don't think remember, you're down some guys. When you're down, the offense runs through Christian Kirk and everything. Everybody, that's how the offense starts. That's how it runs. Well, when one of those guys are down, the other guy is really important. So you got a pretty good idea where I'm going to go with my X factor. But I think as far as the wide receivers go, Parker's going to play in the slot. I don't know that he's going to get a lot. He'll get some balls, but I think it's the day they run the football. I really do.
All right, and your X factor for the Jaguars, without further ado, and your X factor for the Browns, Frank.
Evan Ingram, without question. He will be other than Trevor, Mia, with Christian Kirk out, he is by far the most important offensive player. I'll say that again. With Christian Kirk out, other than Trevor, who's Trevor, he is by far the most important offensive player. He caught 9 passes a week ago. He finally got in the end zone. He's caught 73 passes this year. And there's 5 games left. He's caught 73, but he is by far the most important offensive player now for the Jaguars. So I think by far he's my guy. I think if the Browns do anything at all, they're going to be great defensively. We all know that. It's who plays quarterback. My planned answer for this was going to be DTR, but now you got me thinking he may not start. I don't know what the Browns are doing. I'm pretty connected to the Jaguar folks. I'm not really connected to the Browns, but I think whatever they do at quarterback, they're not very good on offense. They're very good on defense. If Flacco plays and throws 2 touchdowns, that's a problem. If DTR plays me and he gets loose for a 50 or 60 yards of running, that's a problem. The key for the Browns is what can they manage at quarterback with Deshaun Watson no longer available this season. The key for the Jags offensively is you got to get the ball to number 7.
Well, Tommy Mack already said to us, even if Joe Flacco starts, you would think DTR may have a package or two.
Oh yeah, and he cleared the protocol, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was full go this week. Wednesday and Thursday he was a full go. Again, I expected him to play. You're kind of, and I haven't been on Twitter. Shame on me, but you guys breaking news for me a little bit. My expectations were that DTR was going to be their quarterback today. So if Joe Flacco is their quarterback, it's a totally different game. But I agree with you, Tom. Even if Flacco's your quarterback, he's probably going to go in there and run some of that RPO stuff. I'd be very surprised if he does.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, Frank. Well, thanks so much for taking some time. We appreciate it. 20 more minutes, then you have to work on the bottom line. So we appreciate you, as always, joining the Famous Automotive Kickoff show right here on 1010XL.
Happy to do it. Have fun, guys. See you.
Thanks, Frank. There he goes on the All-Pro Roofing Hotline. He, of course, will have the call of today's game at 1 o'clock with the Hall of Famer Tony Baselli, Jeff Lageman, and Bucky Brooks. A bit of other breaking news from Cleveland, by the way. The Browns and safety Grant Delpit have agreed to terms on a contract extension.
Oh, nice.
And fascinating to see. Right, fascinating to see teams that actually do contract extensions during the season.
During the year, right.
Obviously, Trent Baalke and the Jags have more important things to focus on, like getting a win today.
No
Whole lot more to do on the Famous Automotive Kickoff show right here on 1010XL. We'll head into the locker room. We will hear from Hayes Carlion, boots on the ground up in Cleveland, and a whole lot more. You are listening to 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
There's a certain romance to radio play-by-play.
We need you to be all strong and hot.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Elevate your driving experience with Osteen Volvo Cars of Jacksonville. The Osteen Volvo team is a key piece of our community, and when it comes to cars, excellence is non-negotiable. Visit Osteen Volvo on Phillips Highway, online at osteenvolvo.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. I'm Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 76 years. But we are more than just a game. We support more than 4,500 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities initiatives. This community impact in the football game are made possible by a membership of more than 250 corporate, Green Jacket, and junior members. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and people to get involved and give back to our community. I'd love to meet you and talk to you about how you can join our team. Call me at 798-1700.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World,
simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Looking for quality equipment and a name you can trust? Lepo Rents, Bobcat of Jacksonville, is your premier construction equipment dealer and rental house. We have the right equipment for the job. offering the big and small tools needed for your next project. Lepo sells and rents track loaders, excavators, boom lifts, and much more. For your next project, remember Lepo Rents, your authorized Bobcat dealer in Jacksonville. Visit them online at leporents.com.
It's easy to get caught up in the holiday scramble, but as we near the end of the year, let's focus on what makes America great, our faith and freedom. Hello, it's Congressman Aaron Bean, and this year I've been busy delivering results for you, from helping with passports and the VA to recovering thousands of dollars in owed benefits from the IRS and Social Security. My team has worked hard to take care of constituents in Northeast Florida. Serving you is what we do. Visit bean.house.gov. This is Congressman Aaron Bean wishing you a blessed holiday season. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Jason Parker, CEO of Performance Painting here. It's gift giving season, so why not give yourself, your tenants, employees, or family members a gift that makes them smile for years? A freshly painted commercial building or home exterior can do just that. No matter who you hire to paint, make sure they walk you through their top coat application process. That should include back rolling, back brushing to lengthen the life of your paint job and ensure the finish is consistent. Learn more at performancepaintingjacks.com or call today at 849-2499.
Performance Painting!
Golfers, when's the last time you played Cimarron? New ownership, improved greens, fairways, and tee boxes, a new clubhouse, interior, exterior, including the Stone and Barrel Tap House, indoor-outdoor bar, live music. Practice, learn, and play program is only $59 a month. Unlimited range balls, weekly clinic from teaching professionals. Golf every day, $25 after 2 o'clock. Whether you scratch or just like getting out with your buddies, you have to try the new Cimarron Golf Club on 210.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial, we're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. The famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube Kickoff Show. Presented by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch on 1010XL.
Rolling towards hour number 2 of the famous Automotive Kickoff Show right here on 1010XL. Mia O'Brien, Tom McManus. We will be joined by Hayes Carlyon live coming up in the 9 a.m. hour. He also stopped by the Jaguars locker room before he flew to Cleveland, and so we'll catch up with DeJuan Smoot a little bit later in this segment. But before we head into the Jaguars locker room, there's some important business to take care of, Tommy Mac.
Okay.
The personal injury attorneys of Farah & Farah present this injury update. Farah & Farah,
Jacksonville,
exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm going to hold it up for you on the laptop. I'm going to hold it up for our YouTube audience, even though the camera is very, very far away. You guys have seen it on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, it's massive.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
The injury report for the Jaguars and the Browns reads like a mini novella.
Yeah.
It
no
is the longest that I have seen between two teams in quite some time here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to Jeff Ferguson and the training staff because this Jaguars team did not have to fight much attrition on the injury front last year. They really didn't even in the Urban Meyer year as well. And so this may be uncomfortable and concerning for Jaguar fans, but as so many players in the locker room told me this week, and you could speak to it, Tommy, this is the nature of the NFL by week 14.
It is. I mean, you're no doubt about that. I mean, guys are banged up, and questionable. It really depends how you feel early in the week, and like you said, do you practice on Wednesday? Do you practice on Thursday? Do you practice on Friday? If you don't participate in Friday, you're probably not going to play. Doubtful to me is like you're closer to out. Questionable to me is you're closer to in, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you could be, I got a shoulder. Well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. I may have a small tear in my rotator. It's just got inflammation. It's sore, whatever. Well, can you go? I don't know. Then by Friday, you're like, hell yeah, I can go. So I'm in. You know what I mean? So, but that is a long list. But that's part, look. Guys get dinged up. You ask any of those old linemen, they'll give you 5 or 6 places that hurt. Elbow, shoulder, wrist, my knee hurts a little bit, my ankle, I rolled them a couple of times, I got a hammy. You know what I mean? I mean, these are what you go through throughout the season, especially late in the year. So being healthy is huge for you to have success further down.
Everybody's playing hurt. You just have to make sure you're not playing injured.
Injured.
Which the Jaguars have 3 players on their active roster that have already been ruled out of today's contest before they even warm up in Cleveland. That includes the aforementioned Trey Herndon, who remains in the concussion protocol. He did not travel with the Jags. Actually, check that. It's 4 players. I forgot there was one added, which we'll get to in a second, yesterday. Walker Little with the hamstring injury ruled out of this contest. Brenton Strange with the foot injury he suffered on the Friday practice prior to Monday Night Football. He was walking around the Jaguars locker room with a boot on Thursday. He has been ruled out. And then Tyson Campbell was downgraded from questionable to out with a quad injury that he suffered during overtime of Monday night's loss. And that was, of course, after Tommy. He missed a couple weeks with the hamstring injury.
I know.
And I'm not going to lie. I had multiple people text me and tweet me and send me emails about this. He lost money on Monday Night Football. There's no question about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough, man. It's tough when you get beat. In his defense, he got beat by some really darn good players. There's no doubt about that. And look, when I've always said, man, it's true. Pressure and coverage go together. Look at Darius Williams. He was having a monster of a year, but guess what? We were pressuring the QB. You can't allow a QB time to sit back there. They're good. It's like, look, if you're a backup quarterback in the NFL right now, and I'm not blanket statementing this, but for a lot of them, are you as good as a starter? No, you're not. But guess one thing you can do? You can throw the football, and you know where to go with it. And if you have time and your guy's even slightly open, you're probably going to make the throw. If you have no fear of getting hit, you're confident as all hell standing right there and making throws because nobody's hitting me. Nobody's in my way. There's no push up front. I don't have to slide very much. The pressure on the outside's on occasion. I can handle that. Other than that, you give me all day long, I'm going to make throws. So you got to have the pressure consistently. And, yes, Josh Allen and like Frank said, and Trayvon, they've been good. And Josh has been very, very good. It's that interior that we're not seeing enough push. And, look, Trey getting hurt early. That nickel blitz was a big part of Mike Caldwell's, attack mode and strategy. So we got to, like, whoever's in there, with Junior, whatever, let's keep doing that. Like, you got to pressure those guys. Safety blitz, nickel, Aluakin and Lloyd up the A-gaps. I mean, let's see some pressure today to make sure that quarterback doesn't have any time to throw the football.
Absolutely, because the design pressure is part of this scheme, whether your front is actually as physical as you want it to be or not. I mean, there's a reason Foye Oluokun came into the season with 7 sacks in his whole career, and then he had 2 in a 2-game span. Because he's called upon, and because
and
Mike
blitz.
Caldwell, he can blitz,
good.
which he loves to blitz, he told me.
Heck yeah, man.
And guess what? At that juncture of the season, Devin Lloyd was playing pretty darn good. And Mike Caldwell deemed, hey, we can leave Devin back there to man the rest of the second level, and we can allow Foye to make plays. But that can only happen if there's the trust in 33. I'm not sure there was that trust last weekend.
Yeah, he had a rough night. But look, like Frank said, when those linemen come off on you, it's a tough night, and it'll screw your head up. It'll get a yawl. And then if there's play action, and now you're like, you could be, tripping on acid for all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're out there, like, because it's demoralizing. Then you get frustrated. And then you're like, man, I can't get these guys off me. I'm making tackles 5 yards down the field. These guys are having free reign. Then it's a play action pass. I'm thinking run because I've got to be. Next thing you know, I'm just lost. I will say this. I love the game that Mike Caldwell was Oluakin blitzing. They call it, I forget what they call it.
It was against the Texans, right?
No, against Cincy.
Oh, they did do it against Cincy.
It wasn't a sack, but it was a great hit on the QB by Josh Allen. So Foye comes up to the tackle, wipes him up, and then Josh comes underneath, and, man, it was a great hit on the quarterback. Just a tiny second quicker, and that's a sack and a bone-jarring hit where the ball comes out. So we got to see more of that today. But, look, at the end of the day, if I'm only getting pressure from my outside guys, then what does my guy have to do? He's just got to step up the QB. But if I get pressure
or run the ball
front,
up the middle.
Or run the ball up the middle. But if I get pressure up in his face, then what? Now he's got to slide out. Well, if they both start working, he's got nowhere to go, basically. So that's what we hope for today.
4 players listed as questionable. That, of course, includes the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. But, again, he is expected to work out pregame. And by all accounts, it sounds like he will try to give it a go on that high ankle injury. Dearness Johnson, Travis Etienne, and Foley Fatukasi also listed as questionable. Spoke with all 3 of those players this week. Sounds like they're going to be ready to give it a go, especially after hearing from Frank, who spoke with Dearness Johnson this week as well. Meanwhile, for the Cleveland Browns, they have 4 players listed as questionable, but that includes Amari Cooper, who, as the NFL Network and ESPN reported yesterday, did pass through concussion protocol and is expected to play. And I think, and I know Coach Campos said this throughout the week on XL Primetime, that significantly changes the complexity of their offense.
He's your deep guy. I mean, he's averaging like 16 yards a catch. It's getting the ball down the field, and what that does is put pressure on that coordinator to keep that safety over the top, especially with Tyson out, and especially with my rush not really being there. Now, if the rush somehow just becomes fantastic today, it'll help us in coverage, no doubt about that. But, yeah, Coop is a guy. He can get down the field. He's a big playmaking machine. Even on the quick hits, if you don't get him down, he can take it for a good bit. So, he definitely changes that. Look, if you can't, we've seen it here. You can't take the top off with somebody, right, with a receiver. It can hinder your passing offense. You take the top off, guess what it does? A, you got a chance to go downtown, but B, it opens up everything underneath. That's why Christian Kirk has been so successful. You send Zay, you send Ridley down the field, flush Ingram out too. Next thing you know, one-on-one with Captain Kirk, and he's making plays. Parker Washington's going to have to do a couple bits of that today as well.
Denzel Ward, questionable officially, the star corner for the Browns. He has not played since November 19th. I know some Jags fans upset on Twitter this week. It always seems like these teams have injured players, but when it comes time to play the Jags, they miraculously come back. So that'll be a situation to monitor. They will also be without the rookie tackle, DeJuan Jones, who's actually been playing pretty well despite falling to day 3 in the NFL draft.
Big dude.
He is their only question mark on the offensive line, which, of course, is paramount if this really is going to be a battle of the trenches in Cleveland. All right, before we get ready for the 9 o'clock hour, we do have to head into the locker room, Tommy Mack.
All right.
Before he jetted off to Ohio, Hayes Carline caught up with Jaguars veteran defensive end, outside linebacker, do-it-all defensive lineman, DeJuan Smoot.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars defensive end DeJuan Smoot here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you as well. I'm doing well.
Congratulations on being the team's Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. What did that mean to you, DeJuan?
It means a lot to me. I mean, it means a lot that one of my peers, they recognize what I'm doing out in the community. More than anything, it means like just set an example for the people in the locker room and everyone else, just, how to get it done and, what you should do in the community.
Tell us about the work you've done in the community, creating school and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, just recently, me and my wife, we created a bilingual school for younger kids, all the way up from like infancy all the way up to 5 years old. So, I mean, we really worked on that project for the last 2 years. But, throughout the years, I worked with multiple organizations like Better That Society, devoted a lot of time with them, and donated a lot with them as well, too. Also with the Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and just a host of other Jacksonville things, So, yeah.
That's awesome. Are you starting to feel that Jacksonville is home for you?
Oh, it's already been home for me. I mean, I've been saying that for the last 4 years. I mean, me and my wife, we plan on staying here for forever. So, and it's definitely home for sure.
That's awesome. Looking at football, short week this week. What's the week been like from a preparation standpoint?
Preparation standpoint, it hasn't been too bad. I mean, we kind of just jumped straight into it. Like it's kind of like very similar like a Thursday night. We just kind of jump right into it after one day off, and you just get right back into the groove and right back in it for sure.
Cleveland is not announcing their starter, so we don't know if it'll be Flacco or the rookie DTR. How does that change how you approach the game?
I mean, at the end of the day, we know what they're trying to do. They're still the Browns. They're only trying to run the ball. I mean, it doesn't matter what quarterback steps up. I mean, we'll be ready for either one. And, based off if it's a running quarterback or if it's Flacco, we got to prepare for that and just little small tweaks. But more than anything, we got to focus on stopping the run. That's something that we weren't able to do last week. We're trying to recover from that.
You guys obviously may not have some of your key guys Sunday. That communication piece, how important is that for the young guys stepping into those roles to be mindful of what they're supposed to be doing out there?
I mean, I think a lot of the young guys, they've been with us for, what week are we in now, 14, 15? So, I mean, they know what they're doing now, and the communication is gotten through, first string all the way down to the third string. So I think they're going to be ready, for sure.
You've been now back for a while. Are you pleased with how things are going for you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling like I'm hitting my stride. Last game, I feel like that was one of my better games, and my Achilles is getting better and better each week. I'm almost there. Right there.
In terms of looking at the season you guys are having as a team in a very strong position, how exciting is that as you go into this final stretch of 4 or 5 games?
I mean, it's huge. It's definitely a place that we wanted to be. When we first talked about it in the beginning of the season, setting ourselves up for the postseason and being in a really good place to get first place in the AFC. So we just got to focus on one game at a time, making sure that we're winning each and every game going forward, so that way it can set us up, and wherever the cards fall, that's where they fall.
Juwan, you guys have been so great on the road. Is there anything you can put your finger on as to why you guys are undefeated away from Jacksonville?
It's just a time where we really connect. It's just us. I feel like back in London, that's where we really cultivated that culture of just like us just being together, just vibing and stuff like that. That's just something that we have to be able to do more, here. Maybe go to a little more dinners, just spend a little more time with our brothers, but we'll see. Sure.
You've been teammates with Josh for a while. How cool is it to see him having the season that Josh Allen's having?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, I'm just so happy for him. He's put in the work. He's been working for the last 4 or 5 years, just consistently. And in the off season, I watch him work as well too. And I'm just so happy just seeing like the fruits of his labor all coming to fruition. And I'm just so proud of him for sure.
Juwan, thank you so much for your time. Once again, congratulations and best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
A double dose of the hammer is headed your way because we have Hayes Carline standing by on the other side of this timeout. He is live in Cleveland, and he joins us next. Hour number 2 of the famous Automotive Kickoff Show, brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch, coming up next right here on 1010XL.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars. Enjoy Brackish Vodka at Island Girls Cigar Bar in Ponte Vedra with blackjack on the rocks, Thursdays and Sundays.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
The Big G stands for Georgia.
Keep up with the latest Bulldog news and notes. Listen for the Bulldog Report.
Brought to you by Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group. On 1010XL.
Now is the perfect time to make sure that your roof hasn't been damaged after storm season. Schedule a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. And right now, get 15% off your roof replacement and repairs. Plus, flexible financing options are available. This offer expires December 31st and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Introducing Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade. Developed with 200 milligrams of caffeine to help athletes focus the mind and power the body for athletic performance. Great flavors like strawberry watermelon, glacier freeze, cool blue, and tropical mango, all designed to ignite athletic performance. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Fast Twitch, official partner of the NFL and used by the pros. On-the-go energy from Gatorade.
Having hot water in your home is important for washing dishes, yourself, etc. But if your water isn't consistently nice and hot, it may become more of an issue when your family's over for the holidays.
There's no hot water!
Fix water heater problems with a call to DuckDuckRooter today. DuckDuckRooter will come and resolve it so you can enjoy lots of hot water this holiday season. Call 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com.
You
It's your boy E to the T. And check this out. I know you're not walking past 100 on the ground, so why are you walking past a chance to get this easy cash with MyBookie? MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill your sports betting needs anytime, anywhere. So you can turn that sports knowledge into straight cash, homie. You can bet on the NFL every week, and you're going to absolutely love betting on bowl games or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting on the right time to get in on the action, the holidays are here, and that's the right time, my boy. Make your winning move today. Sign up at MyBookie and use promo code 1010XL and claim your deposit match redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code 1010XL to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the crib. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Come on, somebody.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM and FM, Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL, home sweet home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Getting game day underway. The famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube Kickoff Show. Presented by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch on 1010XL.
We had to let it simmer, Mia. We had to let it simmer.
We needed to
let's
let
go behind
there it
enemy
is.
lines. Behind enemy lines. Brought to you by Palo Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
I was going to say we needed to shred because the embedded and shredded is here. Some shred on the air guitar as Hayes Carline joins us live from Cleveland. This is Behind Enemy Lines, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Hayes, I apparently dropped the ball and didn't ask Frangie, so I'll lead off with you with this. What is the weather in Cleveland as we speak to you at 9:07 a.m.?
It's Tom and Casey. It is always love some AC/DC. It is AFC North weather here. It is really cold, really windy. The flags are moving incredibly fast, and it's going to be certainly a mental challenge today for these guys getting out there and battling through it. Not the worst possible conditions. There's no snow, but it feels like about 30 right now, and there's wind gusts to about 20 miles an hour.
Hammer, great to hear your voice, buddy. Hey, what's your biggest concern going into this game for our Jags, aside from keeping number 16 healthy?
Yeah, Tom, I think it's the attrition around him. To lose Christian Kirk, I think that's a monumental loss, but because of the Trevor injury, it's sort of been put on the back burner because of how it obviously Lawrence's importance, but to lose Christian Kirk, I think is going to be a real test for this offense. He's their most dependable receiver, and he's a great playmaker and just a great leader out there. So to not have Christian Kirk, to not have Tyson Campbell, to not have Walker Little, to not have Trey Herndon, that's a lot. That's a lot. So for me, it's the communication aspect. I think defensively, because that was a real issue, and that was I was disappointed that they said, well, it was the crowd that was so loud, Monday night. I mean, come on. I mean, you're a defense. You've been doing this your whole life. you got to get the communication part right. And so, I think that's a concern with Herndon being out, Tyson Campbell being out, and certainly offensively. I think it's a fair question. Will the receivers be in the right spot when they're supposed to be there today? When you talk about Parker Washington and Calvin Ridley. So I think the communication and the operation of it is going to be paramount. And, again, it certainly appears like Trevor's going to be active, and, that's a testament to his toughness. But will he be able to move much at all? And so it's, I think there's a lot of challenges today that start with the Jaguars before you even get into the challenges that Cleveland presents.
Speaking of lineup shuffle, Hayes, what do you anticipate the offensive line looking like today?
My guess is Ezra Cleveland's at left tackle, and then Tyler Shatley's at left guard. And, again, that's asking a lot. Ezra Cleveland's been here for about 3 weeks now and hasn't played tackle at this level. Now, he obviously played it in college, but I think that's tough. I mean, that is that's a tough way to go about things. Myles Garrett's not 100% either, but he is an outstanding player. And so you have to hope that he doesn't wreck the game for you and really get after Trevor. So I think it's interesting. I'm curious to see how well it will work. But I was talking to John Osher about this last night. He made a good point. In the NFL, when you have to do something like this, it usually works once. So hopefully today will be the day it works for the Jaguars, and then maybe they'll be able to get a little healthier at that spot and get Walker Little back.
Hank, or Hammer, you say we're hearing all this talk about being out of position or not hearing the call or not knowing the coverage. Wide receivers being out of position. Look, I've noticed Calvin Ridley out of position a few times the past few weeks. I can even see the players looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you in the right spot? I'm just shocked that that's not, like, no pun intended, hammered down to the team. Like, that's no excuse. I don't care if you're the backup. I don't care if you've never, started on the field. You got to know all the calls. You got to know everything that happens mentally in that game. And I'm just surprised the Doug Peterson team would have those kind of issues.
It is surprising because the book on Calvin Ridley was, he's just such a great route runner. Well, you would think that means he actually knows the route. And, obviously he doesn't have the grasp on it that you'd like him to have. Parker Washington, you can kind of give him a little bit of a pass. It's his, first extended action Monday night. And obviously he made a incorrect read on the play in which Trevor got hurt. But with Ridley, it's been multiple issues pretty much in every game. And it is surprising considering that is his reputation. Well, oh my gosh, they're getting such a great route runner. Well, if he doesn't know the route, how can he be a great route runner? And it really is. It's something that I do think has been disappointing that we're this far into the season and a veteran player like Calvin Ridley is still having to be helped so much by the others in terms of what to do.
This is Behind Enemy Lines after all. So Hayes Carlyon joining us on the All Pro Roofing Hotline. Take us to Cleveland. What is the sentiment there? I know there's been reports that it will be Joe Flacco under center, not the rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and the confidence on the streets up there in Northeast Ohio.
I think they're confident because they see a team like that's dealing with the attrition they're dealing with. So, obviously if it's Trevor Lawrence versus Joe Flacco, that's a tremendous advantage for the Jaguars, but Cleveland's been dealing with just significant injuries all season, going back to Nick Chubb and the devastating knee injury that he suffered. But it's desperation time for the Browns. I mean, I think they view this as, you're running out of games here, and they need to make a move, and so I think there's a sense of desperation in the city for the Browns that they've got to get this one today and take advantage of the fact that, the Jaguars not only are beat up, they're recently beat up. So they haven't been playing, with this lineup for a few weeks. Like Cleveland's at least, they're beat up and they've had a lot of attrition, but they've been dealing with it for a long time now. They got beat up early in the year. So I think the Browns are hopeful that with a lot of this being new for the Jaguars, that they'll really struggle today. But I mean, everybody, I think on both sides expects a really, really ugly game today. I mean, I think the weather, the fact that you are going to see so many backups at key spots for both teams. I mean, I think the first one to 17 has an excellent chance to win.
Yep.
And I would be disappointed if Cleveland scores more than that. I think the Jaguar defense, after getting embarrassed Monday night, I mean, hopefully they'll come and play with an edge today, particularly up front where they're not dealing with the attrition that the secondary is.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And look, with the Steelers' loss recently, the Browns, they need this win just to stay in pace with the rest of the wild card. It's a big game for them. I expect them to pound the rock. You mentioned it. We gave up 5 yards of carry against Cincinnati, Hayes, but that's not like us to do that. Are we going to see the defense that we're normally used to seeing, shutting down the run and getting off the field on third down? Because last week that didn't happen.
It didn't happen. I do think that the defense will play well today. I think the defense is going to do enough to get the win. I just worry about the offense being able to manufacture things, because I don't think, and I thought this 4 weeks ago, I don't think the Jaguars are going to be able to block Cleveland. And so I just think when that is, I think, almost a lock, it's hard to expect you're going to score, 24 more points. And so the Jaguars may hit a couple of things, but I think defensively the Jaguars are going to shut Cleveland down. It's just, to me, it's a question of and again, hopefully Trevor is out there. It seems like he will be. Can he hit a couple just wow plays to Ingram or Ridley, whoever, that, lead to scores and you're able to get out of here with a 17-13 kind of win? But I would be surprised if Cleveland is able to be physical against this Jaguars defense. But I have real concerns about whether the Jaguars offensive line is going to be able to open anything up against the Browns.
Since you hinted at Myles Garrett, real quick, Hayes, they have 4 players that were listed as questionable. However, Myles Garrett, quote, not injury-related rest shoulder, did not practice on Wednesday. Similar situation with David Njoku, who did not practice Wednesday or Thursday as he's resting a knee injury. So as much as there's 4 players listed as questionable, there's several other players that they're being precautionary. Joel Bitonio, the star guard as well, another one of those players. And so if you could just, for our listeners, kind of give an idea of if those guys are 100% healthy, even if they do not have a game status designated.
Myles Garrett's the real big one because he clearly isn't himself. He had a shoulder injury like 2 weeks ago and really didn't play well in their last game against the Rams. And so, Myles Garrett is certainly, he's always a guy to watch, but even more so today, because is he himself? And if he is himself, he's probably going to be pretty livid about how it went last week. So I think it starts there. Amari Cooper is one that I was really surprised is going to be active today. He was in concussion protocol and dealing with a rib injury. Amari Cooper is an excellent receiver. I think he's one of the more underrated receivers in the league. And, with a player like Flacco, if he does have time, with his arm strength, that could be an issue particularly with Tyson Campbell out. So Amari Cooper is one to watch today because I didn't think Cleveland would have him. And the fact that they do, I think, is going to be a boost for their passing game.
Myles Garrett, look, he's Chris Jones capable of disrupting your offense. Yeah. And you know what? If he's not feeling himself, watch, they'll put him over the center. We've seen the Browns do that with Myles Garrett. He'll move all over that offensive line to find a weakness. So I know Fortner struggled a little bit. Sheriff has as well, but don't be surprised if they put Garrett up on center guard in that A-gap, whatnot, and see if he can get anything done against those guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm sure Myles Garrett watched the film and said, I want to line up over that center as much as I can.
Right.
So, I would think that – but, to be honest, frankly, at this point, I think Harrison's who I would trust the most, which is saying something. Right. He's a rookie. But I don't trust Ezra Cleveland at left tackle because we've never seen him do it. I certainly don't trust Fortner or Sheriff. And Shatley athletically can't match up with him. So wherever Myles Garrett is today – he's got an enviable matchup.
I think it's safe to say Trevor Lawrence, if he does play, going to have to get the ball out quick because of that ankle injury and going to have to get the ball out quick because of who his offensive line is lining up against. Hayes, before we let you go and get ready for coverage today, a score prediction, please, sir.
I think Trevor's going to play. I think that'll be the boost that the Jaguars need. So I'll say Jaguars get out of here today with a 17-13 victory.
Woof! Going to be ugly, but hey, if it's a dub, that is what this game is judged on dubs. Thanks so much, Hayes, and safe travels back to Jacksonville.
Thank you guys for getting me in a little earlier. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
No
and
problem.
should be worth noting, as Carlyon picks the Jaguars by 4, the line at MyBookie has slid from a 3-point favorite in the Cleveland Browns to 2.5.
Okay. And they get 3 for home field. Typically, is that still the norm?
So money's starting to come in on the Jags.
Okay.
I think that's a lot of the optimism that Trevor Lawrence will indeed be the starter.
I'm fairly, if Ezra's our left tackle, I'm fairly he's really athletic. He's big, and he's got a good temperament, man. He does like to get after people. I think he's athletic enough and big enough to play left tackle, so I'm not really concerned. Now, granted, going against Myles Garrett, don't get me wrong, anybody's going to have, some issues there, but overall, I think he can hold down the fort at that position.
As much as we've talked about the defense feeling like they have something to prove, I was told the offensive line feels like they have something to prove, and they are going to be great on Sunday.
Beautiful.
Let us pray. A whole lot more to get to on the famous Automotive Kickoff show right here on 1010XL. We'll head back into the locker room, but first, our keys to the game that's coming up on the other side of this timeout right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
We got a great show for you today. Join the 1010XL Podcast Network. A big show. Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
A king-size show. Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Since 1928, people have admired diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs that we've hand-selected and put together because of the way they dance and sparkle on a lady's neck or ear. And now, through Christmas, Underwoods is putting all of our diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs on sale at 15% below our everyday price. We also take trade-ins on these pieces of jewelry, so if you're thinking about growing a diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond studs up to a larger size, this is the ideal time to come see us. To give an example, we normally sell our 1-carat total weight diamond stud earrings for $2,600, but right now they're on sale for $2,210. Our diamond solitaire necklaces are priced the same way, with sizes from 1/5 carat total weight up to 7 carats total weight. So if you need a gift that says forever, make it an Underwood diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond stud earrings.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Looking for the best deal on your next set of tires? Tire Outlet never falls flat. We offer the best selection, best quality, and the best prices on tires so that you can find the right ones for your vehicle. And with over 40 years of experience, 15 locations across Florida, and a legendary price match guarantee, you can trust that your vehicle is in great hands. Our skilled technicians are ready to maintain and repair your vehicle to keep it operating its best. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
Tire Outlet. Can the Canes calm the storm in Coral Gables and rejoin college football's elite?
I'm JJ LaSalva, and I bring you news and notes you need to know from Miami every week on the Hurricane Report.
Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve on 1010XL.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost.
Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
It's easy to get caught up in the holiday scramble, but as we near the end of the year, let's focus on what makes America great, our faith and freedom. Hello, it's Congressman Aaron Bean, and this year I've been busy delivering results for you, from helping with passports and the VA to recovering thousands of dollars in owed benefits from the IRS and Social Security. My team has worked hard to take care of constituents in Northeast Florida. Serving you is what we do. Visit bean.house.gov. This is Congressman Aaron Bean wishing you a blessed holiday season. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WindoWorld wants you to do. WindoWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WindoWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WindoWorld can.
And with WindoWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WindoWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WindoWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WindoWorld, and to top it off, WindoWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WindoWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast, and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you.
Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real, long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-one-fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Starting your game day.
The famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube Kickoff Show. Presented by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch on 1010XL. Now, the keys to the game. Brought to you by Instant Keys, fast, professional, honest locksmith service.
We've heard from Frank Frangie. We've heard from Hayes Carlyon. We've gone into the locker room. It is time now to hit our keys to the game for today's game between the Jaguars and the Browns. Without further ado, Tommy Mack, what is the biggest key for you in this matchup?
Yes. You know what I mean? I mean, it's old school, I know, and it's cliche, but you got to out-physical the other team. You just have to. Look, it's great to have all this, skill set players, that can run and do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you don't win in the trenches, if you don't control the line of scrimmage by being more physical than the other team, you probably are not going to win the game. So out-physical the Browns from the very first snap all the way through to the end.
And I think Josh Allen was asked specifically about that this week. And one reporter wanted him to concede and say the word soft, which he did not say the word soft.
Yeah, I wouldn't say soft.
But he said the physicality against the Bengals was not to their standard.
Right.
He also stressed when I asked him about all the missed tackles, he said how in hindsight, yes, there were missed tackles, but those missed tackles were generated by an inability to stop the run. And so that for me is paramount.
I agree.
This team lives by the mantra, you stop the run so we can have fun.
Right.
If you cannot make this Browns team one-dimensional, then you put yourself behind the eight ball basically from the jump.
Yeah, which will lead me into the second key. If you let Joe Flacco beat you, no disrespect to Joe. It's great that he came off the bench. It's great that he's starting again in the NFL. But, look, he can still throw it. And he knows the offense already, so he feels comfortable doing it. He only averaged, I think it was under 4 yards a pass last week. And I did have 2 touchdowns.
5.8, but yes.
It
was low at first, yes.
Yeah, so
the dinking and dunking.
He's going to try that, but he can still get it down the field with Amari Cooper. But at the end of the day, you can't let Joe Flacco beat you today. Go up there and take care of this team and win this game.
And for what it's worth, Harrison Bryant actually finished as the leading receiver against the Rams last week for Cleveland with 5 catches for 49 yards. And so even if David Njoku is not at full speed, he had 2 catches for 17 yards last week.
Right.
I think you still have to account for that tight end position, which means Devin Lloyd, linebackers, safeties.
Rayshawn,
if you're bringing Rayshawn over, then, does that mean Andre Sisco has to help Buster Brown? And so as much as this is not the Bengals with their three-headed monster at wide receiver, there's still a lot of pieces that this defense will have to account for.
Absolutely. Like you said, if you don't stop the run, they're going to be even better, because that's what happens. All right, better on third down. I mean, for the defense, because we were really good all throughout the season. Last week, we weren't good at all. I think we gave up almost 50% on third down. So get back to that. Stopping it all leads into it, right? Everything we're saying, you stop the run, you give yourself a chance to get off the field on third down, right? Now, third and long, you shouldn't let them convert. You should have enough pressure on that QB, disrupt that timing of the throw. Never in a run should do that. Maybe a screen if you get caught off guard, but you should be getting off the field on third and long, and the only way to do that is to stop the run.
The Bengals were 8 of 14 on Monday night. That's a 57% clip on third down. I think part of it was that Monday Night Football's broadcast built up the Jags as such a great team defensively on third down, and how the Bengals struggled offensively on third down, and vice versa for the offense and defense of the Jags and the Bengals. And then obviously everything they said, the opposite happened on Monday night. Offensively for the Jags, I think one area that they can, quite frankly, they're going to have to lean into is Travis Etienne has had his biggest bulk of success when he is able to hit the edge. The Rams did find some success in the run game when they hit the edge. Puka Nacua on a couple of reverses. I don't think, you
caught him off guard, misdirection.
You have Calvin Ridley. At times, the reverse with him has looked, the jet sweep has looked effective. You won't have Christian Kirk to do that. You have Parker Washington. Maybe you try to sprinkle that wrinkle into the offensive game plan a little bit. But I think that it's paramount that you say to Travis Etienne, find the edge. Also, don't hesitate. Hit the hole and go, but maybe not so much this in between the tackle. Perhaps that's where you lean into Dearness Johnson and, dare I say, Tank Bigsby a little bit more because this is expected to be such a physical matchup. But for Etienne to have success, Travis needs to be hitting the edge.
Yeah, a lot of times running up the gut is just to try to keep him honest. I mean, you hope there's a hole there that he can break, and sometimes they do, but you're trying to keep that defense honest. Hey, listen, we talk third down for our Jags. The Browns are number 1 in the league on defense. They give up only 27%. That's like 1 out of every 4 you're converting. So we got to be better on third down. I am a little concerned with in the fact with Trevor and that ankle, because if he can't run around like when he does, that to me makes his game even that much better. He's going to have to stay inside the pocket kind of thing. Not a lot of misdirection, rollouts, depending on how his ankle is. But you got to make sure that you take care of him and convert on third down more times than not.
The 2 plays offensively that are undefeated for the Jaguars this season, the rollout to Evan Ingram and the out route to Calvin Ridley.
You're right.
Both require some left to right agility on the part of Trevor Lawrence. And so I need to be able to see that from the jump if the Jaguars are to have success on offense.
That's one route Ridley wins every single time.
Undefeated. Mina Kimes went through the numbers.
You're right.
It's almost a 90% completion percentage.
Right. But like Hayes said, he's got to know the rest. Or maybe just do that, or maybe a tug and go, type of thing, stop and go type route. But he is on that route. He is absolutely, and Trevor can fire it in there from all parts of the field. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that for sure.
And Trevor stressed that his arm is good to go.
Right.
That's a non-issue for him. He's
no
going to be able to throw the ball.
Yep.
It's just a matter of that lateral agility. One real quick off the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, which we appreciate everybody who's chiming in, and the 100+ of you watching on YouTube right now. Man. Leave a comment, send us a text at 641-1010. 545 is wondering about Elijah Cooks. We heard Frank Frangie, in case you missed it, in the 8 o'clock hour, said he thinks he will be up with Christian Kirk, obviously put on the reserve injured list on Friday. I want to see them throw him the ball.
Me too.
Because what we saw in training camp, and knowing this guy is pushing 26 years old, he's an older guy. Yep. Yes, he's a rookie, but he's clearly been in the system now for months. Yep. He knows the system,
he's
or at
out
least
there.
It feels like it, and they trust him enough to put him out there.
Right. He is big and fast. I think he could be a mismatch for somebody, especially in the slot. I'd like to see that too, without a doubt. I've been calling for him all season long, just to give him a chance. I know you got all these weapons, right? But look, somebody's going to have to step up today. I will say my final key, or one of my last keys, is the cuz. He's got to make every kick. He's not my cuz. Same last name, same spelling. The only two McManuses spelled that way ever in the history of the NFL. Did you know that?
Really? I did not.
I learned that in the offseason. I was like, wow, that's
I would think
cool.
that's the only way to spell McManus.
No, there's an IS out there, too, I've seen. The Patriots
weird.
had a DB with an I at McManus.
Interesting. I would always
But
think it's
anyway,
US.
and he's been great. Look, you're going to miss. That was a long one to miss from. Don't get me wrong, but if he can just be, 3 of 3, 4 of 4, I think we're going to need those field goals today. So come on, cuz. Although you're not my cuz. But get it done.
I have some.
Okay, go forth, Casey Dobson.
Yeah.
I saw you waving to us. I thought that was because we have to take a break, but
no,
go ahead.
I just, I want class participation. From a fan's perspective, stop dropping the dang ball. And can we get a defensive score? We were this close last week with Josh Allen. Let's get one. Hey, Foye, I'm repping you, baby. Let's get one into the end zone. Yep. Let's go.
And if you go back through the history of this team and Doug Peterson's 2 years at the helm, those big wins, especially following a Trevor Lawrence injury or a disappointing loss, whether it was against the Titans last year in Nashville, which ironically Trevor hurt on the same day. Back-to-back years, December 4th.
Oh, wow.
Just throwing that one into the ether, and then obviously he bounced back with a 4-touchdown performance. So let's just throw that out there. And it was some nasty weather in Nashville, too, lest we forget this day last year. But also, you go back to the MCL injury earlier this year, and they responded not only with a sound game plan in which they got the ball out quick against the Saints, but Foye Oluokun with a pick six. And so this defense, I think, will respond because – they were very honest about it in the locker room. They got embarrassed on national television.
It all starts up front. And not just one guy, not just two guys. All five of you got to get it done. Those three interior guys, like we've been saying, they've got to have good games today because we know what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to pound the rock. They are. Ford, I think, is the biggest threat right now, right? Jerome Ford, he's at like 4.3 yards carry. So just, hey,
Kareem Hunt is still there, but Jerome Ford has kind of become the lead back for them.
Kareem
in
hasn't
Chubb's
had that big
absence.
of a year. Is he banged up? I don't know. He didn't look like he was having that big of a year. But regardless, they are going to try to pound the rock to set a tone and establish a line of scrimmage. That's what I love about this team. They do redeem themselves after a loss, and they're going to come together on the road. I love being on the road because it was like that movie 300. You know what I mean? It's us, and we got us, and
Jacksonville against the world, Duval versus all y'all.
Yeah, exactly. And you go in there with that attitude and you fight back. You show them that you're here to play. They're gonna have a big day today. I feel really good about the team.
To your point, I think what Frank Frangie brought up on the All Pro Roofing Hotline is also important. If Angelo Blackson is up, will Devon Hamilton also be up? Do you see a situation where both those guys are on the field at the same time to stop that run?
If Foley's not. Yeah, but the thing with the only problem the biggest problem Devon has is he gets too high when he gets tired. And he's a mountain of a man. I mean, he's a big, big guy. But when you stand tall, they get underneath you. And then you're moving. And you saw last week when the defensive linemen are in the laps of the backers cannot make plays at the line of scrimmage. It just isn't going to happen. So they have to be very, very stout. So to answer your question, yes, but I only think they're both out there if maybe Foley isn't healthy.
Those are our keys to the game, brought to you by Instant Keys. One more segment to go on the famous Automotive Kickoff Show, brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch. We head back into the locker room, my conversation with Parker Washington, our final thoughts, and our score predictions coming up next right here on the Superstation, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Looking for quality equipment and a name you can trust? Lepo Rents, Bobcat of Jacksonville, is your premier construction equipment dealer and rental house. We have the right equipment for the job, offering the big and small tools needed for your next project. Lepo sells and rents track loaders, excavators, boom lifts, and much more. For your next project, remember Lepo Rents, your authorized Bobcat dealer in Jacksonville. Visit them online at leporents.com.
This is Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade.
Fast Twitch, an energy drink from Gatorade in 6 different flavors, including strawberry watermelon, cool blue, and tropical mango. And available at your local Winn-Dixie.
Start fast with Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade.
On-the-go energy from Gatorade. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality products. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Looking for the perfect stocking stuffer? How about the Blue Crab Crab House? Right now, buy a $50 gift card, you get $15 free. $50 gives you an additional $15. Also sign up. The private dining room is available for you. Call them 260-CRAB for all the details. Tuesday through Saturday, 4:30 to 9, Sunday noon to 9, only at the Blue Crab Crab House right off of San Jose, Jointon Creek Road.
Committed to the team, committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
I'm Hacker, and I'll get you ready for Billy Napier's second season on the Florida sideline during the Gator Bites podcast, presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, with new episodes dropping every Wednesday. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty. A proud partner of the Jaguars.
Come out and celebrate 20 years at Sahara Cafe and Bar with your favorite hookah flavor and a delicious Brackish Vodka beverage.
The Jaguars are in the home stretch of the regular season as they go head-to-head with the Baltimore Ravens December 17th. This Sunday night football matchup is sure to excite as you help us teal out the stands. It's also our Inspire Change game, where fans can learn about our involvement in police community relations, criminal justice reform, and more. Go to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you for Sunday night football, Jaguars fans.
Golfers, when's the last time you played Cimarron? New ownership, improved greens, fairways, and tee boxes, a new clubhouse, interior, exterior, including the Stone and Barrel Tap House, indoor-outdoor bar, live music. Practice, learn, and play program is only $59 a month, unlimited range balls, weekly clinic from teaching professionals. Golf every day, $25 after 2 o'clock. Whether you scratch or just like getting out with your buddies, you have to try the new Cimarron Golf Club on 210.
The last thing you want to be dealing with this holiday season is a septic emergency. Plan ahead and schedule to have your septic tank pumped out now. Our wonderful team at Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is standing by and ready for your call. We'll get your septic tank pumped out right away, giving you one less thing you have to worry about this holiday season. Check out our reviews online and give us a ring today. 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Patriot Roofing Services, specializing in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights as well. 10-year workmanship warranty, financing available, military and senior citizen discounts, no subcontractors. Mention this ad at the time of the estimate and receive $500 off any new re-roof. Call Mark today, 982-4052, 982-4052, licensed and insured.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, the famous automotive tire and quick lube kickoff show. Presented by Clearwater Irrigation
and Gatorade Fast Twitch
on 1010XL.
Little over 3 hours away from kickoff between the Jaguars and the Browns right here on 1010 AM 92.5 FM. Mio O'Brien, Tom McManus with you till 10 a.m. I keep wanting to say Bengals, Browns, two teams from Ohio, Tommy Mac, but two very different ball clubs, at least from what we've discussed over the past hour and 43 minutes. One we know more of a finesse, offensive first passing game, even despite not having Joe Burrow on Monday night. And now the Jags turn their sights to a smash mouth Cleveland Browns team.
Yeah, well, they don't have their QB either, right? Deshaun Watson out for the year, so they're going to have to do something. It's interesting, the guy they just let go. Didn't he help them beat KC?
Mm-hmm. Well, not Kansas City. It was somebody else, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, San Fran.
San Francisco.
Yeah, that's right. They beat San Fran. So, yeah, this is going to be a smash-mouth kind of game, man. My kind of game. I love these kinds of games. And hopefully the weather's not too big of a factor, right? You don't want the ball slipping and sliding all that kind of, or your feet. But, yeah, this should be a nasty one. This will be fun.
It does sound like most of the precipitation has passed through Ohio and instead is on its way here to Jacksonville. We will take that because the Jags, of course, are up in Ohio, and so we'd rather some dry weather, especially knowing that Trevor Lawrence still battling that ankle injury.
Yep.
No Deshaun Watson, no Nick Chubb for the Browns,
right.
No Christian Kirk for the Jags. That means we will see more from the 6th-round rookie Parker Washington. I caught up with him earlier this week in the Jaguars locker room. Pleased to be joined with Jaguars rookie wide receiver Parker Washington. Parker, emotions for you these last 4 days? I know you were just telling some other reporters your phone's blowing up, everybody's calling you, but you also got to turn around and prepare for another one.
No doubt. It's about the next week. I wish we didn't come up short this past week, but we got to move on and get ready for this weekend. I'm excited, continue to grow, continue to be the best I can for the team. Wherever I got to step up, I can't wait.
What was the biggest area that you said, I did this really well, and the biggest area you said, this is where I need to grow after Monday night?
I feel like what's going to help me grow is like this week of practice, being able to get all the reps. I got a lot of reps this week of just being in the huddle, hearing the plays. I feel like that's the moment of growth for me. And then on top of that, I feel like just being able to step up in the opportunity, I feel like that was big. So I feel like with this preparation and this week, I feel like I'll be ready to go this weekend.
I think my personal favorite part of Monday's game was when you make the catch in the end zone and every draft pundit on Twitter starts pulling up their old takes from February saying, we said he had the best hands in the class. Look at it now. How much did you pride yourself in your low drop rate at Penn State?
I mean, I try to treat it as any football in the air, I got to catch it. If it doesn't end the play with it in my hands, I feel like it's my responsibility. And, that's my job as a receiver. You got to make the plays and make the quarterback job easier. So I feel like that's where it comes into play, each play in those opportunities.
We're talking on Thursday. What was your reaction when you walk out onto the practice field today and 16 is out there?
Oh, no, that's a cool opportunity. I used to watch him back in the day, Clemson days, so just being able to be his teammate and now have an opportunity to catch the football with him, and I feel like that's a good opportunity, and I don't take that for granted any day.
We were just talking with Andre, and he said he's like Twitter and TikTok and Instagram. They're all saying, like, how is this guy healthy? How does he bounce back like this? I know some people have called him Gumby. Have you guys talked about it as a group, like how he keeps doing this?
I just look at how God works. You being able to keep him strong and healthy, and it comes with a mentality at the end of the day. He has a strong mentality and a leadership mentality, so he's going to be here for his team, so I feel like he does a great job.
I know you took some responsibility for that play when we talked to you afterwards. Your conversations with him, your conversations with Chad and the rest of the crew afterwards, and how you can improve maybe on that area.
Yeah, it's a growth for me. Being a rookie, put in that position, it's a lot of responsibility. I made some mistakes out there, but that's where you got to grow, and you can't get down on yourself. You just got to continue to attack each and every day, stay where your feet are, and continue to grow. I feel like I've done a pretty good job and took some leaps this week, so I'm excited for that.
We don't know if Denzel Ward is officially active yet, but obviously that's a pretty ferocious defense that the Browns have. Initial impressions of them?
Oh, no, great team, great defense. Just like each week, it's going to be a tough battle to win, so we got to come out there ready to go. I feel like we did a good job in preparing for them, and I just can't wait to go out there.
Last one from me. You're pretty used to these cold weather games from Penn State, so you're probably licking at your chops unlike some of these other guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty used to it. It's gonna be cold. I know all about it. I'm excited for it, but it might have to put a long sleeve on. Probably not, but we'll see how it goes.
As much as I know you want to score a couple touchdowns, I think you'd be okay with a Big Ten score, and as long as it's a Jaguars win, right?
We definitely want to come out with the win, whether it's gritty, whether we get to catch a lot of passes. We just want to get the win this week.
Parker, thanks so much.
I appreciate you.
Tommy Mack, you know a thing or two about those cold weather Big Ten score games, too. It's funny, this team hasn't really had to play a lot of those games, and part of that is they haven't played the AFC North a whole lot the last 3-4 years.
Right.
They're going to have to pivot to that today, but if there's any game they can kind of go back to and say maybe this is a blueprint for success given the elements, and even if there is no rain up in Cleveland, I go back to that Thursday night game against the Jets last year.
Okay.
Part of that was obviously playing Zach Wilson. The other half of it was the Jets were defeated.
Yep.
The third part of it is Chris Streveler, Tim Tebow light, still tried to make a last-ditch effort in the second half to march down the field, just QB run after QB run.
Yep.
You take that out of it, though, and Doug Peterson and company approached that game as, let's get a lead.
Yep.
Let's not sit on it, but if we kick field goal, and we win 19-7,
right,
there's nothing wrong with that. I think that has to be the game plan heading into today.
Oh, just finding a way to win. You know, you got to come away. And it doesn't matter. And we can sit here on Monday and critique, you know, the things that weren't good.
And that it wasn't electric enough.
Right, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's winning that game. I want to see a full 60 minutes out of the entire team. Have we seen that yet? You know, all three phases, no mistakes, you know, really on fire, on rhythm, a lot of intensity, shutting things down. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't put a team away yet. You know, when we do have a lead, doesn't mean you always have to have touchdowns, but you got to stop them from catching back up, right? And then still trying to stay ahead with scores, of course. But at the end of the day, man, let's see a full 60 minutes from this team, and that's the upside. You know, you can look at it right now. We're 8-4. Yeah, Monday night wasn't good. The other games that they lost weren't good. But what's the upside? They still haven't played a complete game yet. Right? I mean, they haven't. The offense has been before Trevor got hurt, he was having one of his best nights. I mean, he was
statistically one of the best nights he would have had in his career.
Yes, and he was really, you know, great flow, great rhythm, and all that. So I just want to see a full game from this team, but it does start from that opening kick to out-physical the Browns. You got to do it today. Look, next 5 games are what? We're getting playoff ready. I don't care who we're playing. It doesn't matter. We're on the road against Cleveland. They're fighting for their playoff lives. We're trying to stay ahead of the game. This is going to be a knockout, trying to drag them out type game. It's going to be a fun one.
If there's one thing we've learned during the Doug Peterson era, this team seems to respond better when its back is against the wall. Our thanks again to Parker Washington for going inside the locker room with us. If you could put money on it, Tommy Mack, before we go around the league and then we get to our score predictions, anytime score for the Jaguars. I'm not going to have you put down actual money on it, but anytime score, who do you predict gets into the end zone for Jacksonville today?
Evan Ingram. I think Evan Ingram's going to get into the end zone today. My number 2 would be Travis. He'll get into. I don't know if Trevor will, you know, just with the ankle. I don't know how mobile he's going to be, how aggressive he'll be at the line, you know, diving in and that, reaching the ball over, what have you. But, yeah, I'm going to Ingram's got to score. You know, he can be a dangerous weapon, and is a dangerous weapon. But, yeah, I'll go with those guys.
We know that the Jaguars have struggled in third and short situations, and so I said to somebody, maybe this is the game where Tank Bigsby redeems himself, especially if Trevor can't perform the Duval dunk, as it's now affectionately being called, the Lawrence leap. If he is limited and he cannot perform a quarterback sneak if it's not game ready. Everyone loves that one. Yeah. I think this is where you look at Tank Bigsby and Dearness Johnson and you say, this is your time.
I'd go Dearness first just because Tank hasn't held on to the ball well enough for me. But if he does get that chance, I hope he does a great job. He's got talent, there's no doubt about it, but he's got to secure that football. And today's not the day. I think we're +3. They're -8 in turnover. So we need to take advantage of that today.
If you are a fan of sports betting, I've got some good news for you.
Oh.
My friends at MyBookie now have the Jaguars as just 1.5-point underdogs.
Oh, the money's moving.
That line has slid from 3 on Friday to 2.5 at the start of our show this morning to 1.5. Meanwhile, the Houston Texans opened as 5-point favorites at the New York Jets today. That line has also slid to 3.
Oh.
Do with that information what you will. Right, the Indianapolis Colts, meanwhile, 2.5-point underdogs. That line has also moved at Cincinnati.
Okay.
Some food for thought
Big
as
games.
we get our
Big
score
games.
predictions, beginning with producer Casey Dobson.
Yeah. So real quick, too, just to include the conversation from earlier. Have you guys seen the AT&T commercial called The Sound of Silence, where there's a camera in front of the player? I believe he's the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Dougie P needs to look into that for that defense, but that's for future, okay? But for this game, speaking of defense, we're going to win the game 20-13 on a defensive touchdown.
I like it. Tommy Mack, I know you said defense has got to rule the day if this team has a chance to win.
Yeah, I'm going 17-16. I think it's going to be a tight game. You never know when you're on the road. You never know. Look, Cleveland could – all it takes is a little success on the ground, and next thing you know, Flacco's feeling good, and they're moving the ball. It can happen that quick. So, but I think we're gonna step up. We're gonna take it to them, and we're gonna out-physical this team and come away with a victory.
The Jags are 5-0 on the road, 6-0 away from Everbank Stadium. The Cleveland Browns are 5-1 at home this season. They have allowed just 10 points per game at home. That included a victory over the San Francisco 49ers. My bookie has the over-under for this game at 35.5, which surprisingly is not the lowest total that they have in the NFL this weekend.
Week? Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have 33 between the Jets and the Texans. Some funky stuff happening up there at MetLife. I did not go Oppo last week. I will go Oppo this week and say that the Browns gut out a win 17-13, and it's ugly. Wink, wink. Do with that information what you will. You all know I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious, though.
Okay.
Tommy Mack.
You're a little stitious.
Just a little stitious. Okay. Our thanks to Frank Frangie. Our thanks to Hayes Carlion for calling in from Cleveland. They will be boots on the ground throughout the duration of today's game. And, of course, Frangie on the call with the Hall of Famer Tony Baselli, Jeff Lageman, and Bucky Brooks beginning at 1 p.m. right here on 92.5 FM and 1010 a.m. For producer Casey Dobson, for Tom McManus, I am Mia O'Brien saying so long. The Publix Tailgate Show with Brian Sexton, JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and friends comes up next right here on the Superstation, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. We will catch you later.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.